All right, everyone, welcome into episode number 34 of the Hooley Brothers podcast here. Again, coming off another week off. Had Memorial Day weekend, had a wedding down in Jersey, which is a lot of fun, even though if there wasn't exactly great weather outside or up here. But either way, always good to have an extra day off of work. Mike, how was your weekend? How are you doing today?
Pretty good. It's nice. Did a lot of things that I wasn't able to do this weekend, which is nice. Like going out, saw a movie. So,
Yeah. Oh wait, what movie? We didn't
Quiet
talk
Place
about this
2.
before. Oh, I'm gonna go Thursday.
So good.
Really good. Okay, good to know. Actually, good to know. I know. And again, we're huge moviegoers, so it's been almost 15 months now since I've gone. So definitely looking forward to that. It's going on Thursday, so I'm gonna miss the beginning of the Bees game. We'll have to catch the end there. But we'll get to that in a little bit here. But yeah, again, it's been about a week off. We have a lot to catch up on. Going to be mostly basketball and hockey playoffs. We'll hit on some baseball at the end here, but I wanted to lead with where we are right now. We're recording during the what is likely the Celtics' last game of the season. They're on the brink of elimination
By the way,
tonight. Mike's got his shirt on one more time.
it'll be the
Again, it's
last
been a
time,
weird.
so.
What's that?
I had a feeling it'll be the last time. So
Yeah, exactly. That's a good point. But yeah, I mean, we were briefly treated, and I actually missed most of this game over at the new house, doing some. We don't have the Wi-Fi hooked up yet. I figured there's a way I could bring it up again. We get the new data now, but I didn't go out of my way just because I didn't really know what was going to happen, and kind of thought we were just going to kind of fizzle out here. But really, that didn't happen. And again, the Celtics aren't going to get swept, and it's mainly because of what Jason Tatum did on Friday night, putting up 50 points. So again, we'll talk about the lone bright spot before we kind of talk about kind of everything else that happened over the weekend. But a 50 burger on Friday night. Marcus Smart also played well in that game. And Mike, we're talking about a game where, Harden and Durant both put up, I think, about 80 points combined. And Tatum looked like the best player on the floor, at least that night.
yeah, I was able to catch that game in its entirety.
What's the fourth? Yeah,
it was pretty
sorry,
good, especially the way they bounced back. They could easily rolled over
Mhm.
and died. I think it was like an 18-4 start for Brooklyn. So I thought they're going in. I'm like, I think like if they're gonna win one, I think it'll be tonight. And then
Mhm.
after that first like 5 minutes, I'm like, oop, well, I was wrong on that. They're just gonna get swept. But then
Right.
the fact that they were able to go on that big run, expose Claxton. He had a pretty rough night in game 3 in that first quarter to end. And they ended up winning at the end of the first quarter after being down 18-4, and kind of just set the tone for the rest of the game. Where
I keep thinking that's Speedy, by the way. Just like I want to say it every time.
Mickey Claxton.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was like the best case scenario to win one game in the series. I'm happy they got it out. Got to give it out to Tatum and his 3. I'm including the play-in game. His 3 home games have been 50, 50, 40. So
Yeah, that's true. That's actually insane if you think about it. The 3 games he's played at the Garden since the season ended, if you want to put it that way. Yeah, 140 points in 3 games. Or yeah, it's insane. But yeah, again, he had a great night. Some final, if there's any sort of silver lining with this whole season of kind of crap that's happened, and really, again, obviously being the 7th seed, just finishing 500, is this emergence of Tatum becoming a superstar, and really like seeing a lot of stuff on the internet too about kind of some of the other players in the league, and he's like, it's almost just like, as far as young players, it's Luka and Tatum on their own level, like they're ahead of everyone else. And I think for a while that was kind of just Luka, or like but Tatum's kind of gotten himself to maybe not quite where Luka is, but like in the same category as far as the young players in the league go. So that's kind of one positive for the end of the season, is that he's kind of been able to take that leap in the last month or so.
yeah, because like there are like some like good guys that are like fringe all stars, like well, even Brown,
Trey,
Trey. So like you're seeing that, but you can definitely tell that
Zion.
these guys one day could be MVPs.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that's huge, and people are gonna have their own opinions, and we can obviously talk about the long term and the off season come down the line here. But I mean, I don't know. I think especially if we could just keep him and Jalen together somehow, like especially if again, I know there's a lot of egos in that league, but if Jalen is, and he seems to me like somebody would be fine being kind of an amazing number 2, and I think that that's something that he can definitely do. I just think you got to do everything you can to keep that core together. So I don't know. Your emergence as Tatum as this huge, again, perennial, top 5 MVP candidate, whatever you want to call it. I think that's at least one good takeaway from a season that's been mostly a disappointment.
Yeah, but these Nets are good.
Yeah, they're really good, and again, hanging down 7 right now, 80 to 73 with again, you could argue 3 out of their kind of we'll go ahead and call Rob a starter. 3 out of the 5 starters out of the lineup tonight.
Also a bright spot from Game 3 was how well Thompson played.
Tristan did play. Was it 19 and 13?
Yeah,
yeah.
He was just grabbing every single rebound.
Yeah,
exactly. That's what it was. I think up to like the 13, I want to say like 9 were offensive, something like that.
Yeah, exactly. And what else was I gonna say there? Yeah, Smart obviously chipped in with a few threes there as well. But it's funny with Tristan too, because it seems like he gets the rebound and then he doesn't know what to do with it afterwards. He just kind of like hucks it off the backboard. Like I was watching tonight.
No, he did
no touch.
He did it on Friday though.
Yeah, no, I just in general, like more the whole season or really his whole career. And then mainly I was watching tonight. I'm like, he does an amazing job to get the rebound, and then he just kind of like, he's no toucher on the rim. But anyway, then that leads us to Sunday night again, a game I obviously didn't see a second of because of the wedding I was at. But again, that's put up what was it, 141 points in that game.
Yeah, I was able to watch all the first half, and the piece of the third, and then kind of knew what was happening. So I left in the fourth to leave. It was like kind of like not the exact opposite because it wasn't like that big of a lead. I think Celtics were only up like 19-11, but it was Tatum was back in his bag. He was still very hot. Like I said, he did finish with 40 points.
Yeah,
but they were scoring at will. Whether it was Kyrie, Durant, like even like Harden had an off night.
Then it's right at their peak essentially.
Yeah,
like they're like
points. Yeah. I mean, you're at home, you score 126 points. Your best player has 40 points, and you lose by 15.
Yeah, you usually win that game. Yeah. So, yeah, definitely a tough one there. And then obviously a lot kind of came out of this game besides the Celtics, being down to their last breath here, or going down 3-1 in the series. First off, like you said before, the Nets fired on all cylinders. I think they had, was it 104 points, I think, from Durant, Harden, and Kyrie. So, I mean, just insane to see 3 guys put up those numbers. And then, a lot kind of came out after that. So, and forgive me on the order of these events here. It seems like first was the whole Kyrie stomping on the logo situation. And then is when the bottle happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know, like, I don't know how much you listen to it today too, but a lot of the sports talk radio segments today, and I agree. I don't think those were incidents were related. I think that kid was, obviously a jackass and was going to do that no matter what. I don't think that had anything to do with the logo stomping. So, and I don't know, just the whole thing. I know there's been kind of a lot that happened over the weekend, and not to get too deep into it, but the whole racial aspect was it, which I think Kyrie brought up last week, and I think Jalen did just an absolutely amazing job answering that, like talking about how it is still such a big issue, and in Boston, in the United States, everywhere, but just it was not the timing to bring that up. Like it did not have anything to do with the situation that was about to happen. We were going to boo Kyrie because we don't like him, and he's kind of a jerk, and all these different things, leaving us kind of. I don't know. There's a million reasons, and none of them really for that. That's not why you're getting booed, man. It has nothing to do with that. So that was kind of the first piece I wanted to kind of give a shout out to Jalen, because I think he did an amazing job. He's just, again, such a smart, educated person and all that. So I think he did a fantastic job of answering that. Which brings us to the whole, again, bottle situation, which, again, I think it was just a fan mad at Kyrie, some idiot 21-year-old who, again, will hopefully never be in the Garden again. And obviously just took it way too far. And
first time legally drink in the Garden, it'll be his last.
Yes, seriously. Yeah. Made it count, man. And yeah, I don't know. Just again, another idiot that we've seen a lot. Fans don't know how to act the past week or so. I think we're, a lot of people are still getting the kinks out of that one. But again, just kind of a lot to unwrap there. But I mean, first off, I don't know. It's just so tough because the logo thing, it's stupid at the end of the day. Like I'm not personally offended, but I get the whole, you a-hole. Like you would do that. Like you would. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, I was at the gym today and they had like the CSN on one of the TVs. So like there's no audio, but like I just saw the picture of him with the foot and then the picture of KG's tweet, and I just like shook my head at both of them. It's like, why'd you do that? But also like, who fucking cares?
Yeah, I mean, at the same time, it's just like, I don't know. and again, not to take too much of the content that I like heard today, and not have my own takes here, but like again, if anyone's gonna do it, it is a former player. But like me as like a fan, like well, yeah, why do I? It's not like the logo. It's just more just like okay, yeah, you would. And again, just they kind of hit on all of these points today, but just kind of like yeah, he really is a villain. He's just like yeah, like the heel. That's what Kyrie is.
Yeah.
He plays into what he hypes it up. And I don't know. So I guess my only problem with it is that he'll like I don't know, not fess up to that. Is like he's not genuine to that. It's like if he's just like loved the hate or like well, I don't know if he was more of a showman about it. I'd almost respect it more, but he is just so like pretends like he doesn't do these things and does. So obviously something that a lot of people up here don't like him, aren't a fan of him. But yeah, obviously throwing a water bottle is taking it too far. So yeah, just again a lot to unpack there, but it just yeah, I don't know, just a lot. And yeah, hopefully we don't see too many more of those incidents the rest of the way here, really ever. And fans can behave themselves, or else we might have to institute the big cat fight a fan rule, which I think would keep a lot of people in line. But yeah, so that's
it's
sorry,
like bad when like the worst like viral incident, like the not the worst, the of the viral incidents, like the one that was least bad was the dude that ran on the floor during a basketball game and tried to touch back.
and did he make it? I don't know.
No, he tried to touch net, only hit backboard, and
He hit backboard.
and then
Yeah.
he really got tackled. So like
Yeah, that you're
like
right. That was the
one that
tamest of
actually
it.
disrupted gameplay was like the least like harmful.
I know, right? Seriously. I know, because we had the spitting on Trae Young, the popcorn on Russ Westbrook, the water bottle of Kyrie. Yeah, you're right. That one, it's the only one that that affected the actual game, but was definitely the least severe. That one's just, hey, if you're gonna be an idiot like that, at least do something fun like that, or like the guy at the baseball game who ran the field naked,
Dove to the top.
hit in the tube. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you're gonna be a drunk jackass, like at least don't harm anyone in the process. But yeah, so
he chose the game. Kevin Harlan was calling too. So
who is so good? That Raiders game one, I think it was a Raider game. The Monday night nightcap. What was the Niners? I knew it was the Bay somewhere,
yeah.
but yeah, the Monday night nightcap, one of those years. Yeah, he's great at calling those. But yeah, so that's where we're at again. Again, the water bottle drama aside, the logo drama aside as well. At the end of the day, Brooklyn comes up with a 3-1 series lead. They're up 10 with 37.7 left to go in the third here. Look like they're on their way to winning this thing in 5. And a date with the Milwaukee Bucks, which is a good transition, as they took care of the defending Eastern Conference champion Miami Heat in 4 games. It looked like Miami was going to maybe force a game 5 here, but they kind of fell apart in the third quarter. I think they did not score a lot of points. That they were up, and then they just did whatever shooting the lights out was in the third, and Milwaukee kind of took the lead and was able to wrap it up there.
Yeah, it was kind of on a blink of an eye. I was watching it, and they're like Heat were up by 10 at halftime, and then
yeah.
It was like, the Bucks kind of like made their like runs in the first and second quarter to get it back within like 2 points, and then Heat always bounced back. And it was like a 5-point game. I was like, can't wait for this Heat run. And the next thing you know, the Bucks are up by 10. I'm like, this game's over.
Yeah, I mean, really not much to say there except for I don't know, Mike. You mentioned before. I mean, are we becoming a Bucks podcast? I think that's what has to happen at least for the next 2 weeks here. If this game tonight ends up with the way we think it is, because we talked about how. Sorry, you can go ahead.
Sorry, what?
Oh, sorry, my bad. No, I was just saying, like, again, we talked about how the past 2 years, especially, I think with Giannis with the MVP, them putting up these insane regular season records, whatever, like. All this pressure's been on them the last 2 years, and now we get this new big 3 in Brooklyn. We get Philly coming out with the 1 seed. Maybe this is kind of what they needed. They needed to fly under the radar. And again, we could certainly see them fall in 5 games of the Nets here, and I wouldn't be super shocked. But I don't know. It seems like between that and adding Drew Holiday, kind of swapping him out for Bledsoe, it just seems like they're in a good spot this year. They obviously didn't waste any time in the first round, which I think was key for them. I think if this dragged to 5-6 games, maybe that takes a little bit more out of you. But now they get some rest and kind of wait for the Nets here. And it's not going to be an easy matchup, but I don't know. It's something just seems different this year than in years past.
It's Drew Holiday.
And well, yeah, it's true. But I mean, just the pressure, I think too. But yeah, Drew Holiday obviously a huge addition.
Being able to guard better. I mean, he did have a great year the year after the whole Drew Bledsoe thing, but last year he was pretty awful, especially in the bubble. So they definitely found the need and a massive upgrade. They are now without Dante DiVincenzo the rest of the year, which is a pretty big
Mm-hmm.
blow because now who gets those minutes?
Delhi.
Former Celtic
I
great
can't remember.
Jeff Teague.
Jeff T. Oh God, yeah. So yeah, I mean that that's always a tough blow. It's gonna rest more on their version of a big three with Giannis, Middleton, and Drew Holiday there. But yeah, like I said, I don't know. It seems like if you have again, yeah, you talked about the upgrade. I mean, because Bledsoe was really there on the defensive end, I think, but you're replacing him with a good defender and someone who's way better offensively in Drew Holiday. So that was obviously a big upgrade. And then I don't know if you have Giannis kind of most of the game and then Middleton's kind of your closer. It seems like a dynamic that can definitely work. And again, Brooklyn, if you think about kind of, I don't know, guard Durant, it's Giannis. That's like, I think that's a good spot. You have Holiday locking up one of the other two, and then Middleton too. I think they're a team that can actually hang with Brooklyn on the defensive end, which is something I don't think the Celtics struggle with because again, especially with Jalen out, having Tatum's like, well, which one of these guys is he going to guard? And then Kemba's obviously kind of a liability at times too when he was healthy here. So I don't know. It just seems like obviously compared to the Celtics, this goes without saying a much better matchup. And I don't know. I think we could definitely get a good series here, not to look too far ahead. But
Yeah.
yeah.
And you look at the box score. I know the announcer said Teague would get a lot more minutes. He only really paid 5. So it was a lot more on Conting getting into that starting lineup, playing as 22. And then forgot about PJ Tucker coming off that bench.
Yeah, PJ Tucker. Yeah, that's also a huge addition for them too.
So like just that guard defense all around. Just any wing defense is incredible. And then even Bryn Forbes off the bench had chipped in 22. And that.
Oh, that's what I was Bryn Forbes. That's what, I did that tweet from our guy Kyle. Said he sounds like a sorority president, which is very true. Yeah.
Kind of rotation a little bit, but it's a pretty good rotation. Throwing Bobby Portis too. So I don't know. I think assuming they win, I think I heard Grandy say if they win, that'll also be Saturday night with Game 4 of the Bruins. So it should be a pretty good night.
Yeah.
Sports. So
yeah, I'm down for it. I'm here for it. Just already writing the Celtics up. I don't think they're going to make a 7-point comeback in the fourth quarter here. But yeah, I don't know. I just think that they should be good again. I'm pro Bucks this year, so we'll see how that goes. Looking on the other side of the bracket, if you will, a couple other 3-1 series. So the Knicks had that big win last week. I think it might have been. I'm trying to think of when we even recorded. It was after we recorded. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Garden was rocking. Derrick Rose had a huge performance that night to kind of wrap it up there. But then they go back to Atlanta and what's that?
Bullock hit some threes.
Oh yeah, I was going to say the Reggie Bullock game. He was knocking him down. And then they go back down to A-Town, and the Hawks defended their home floor. And they're up 3-1 in this series, and it's tough to say again. The Knicks this long layoff, and it looks like they could be headed home soon unless they really make some noise here at MSG in Game 5, and then can steal one in Atlanta, and then try to wrap it up at MSG too. It's gonna be tough run for them.
Yeah, it's the Truly Whiskers effects. He was in fact in the building.
He was at attendance both games, right?
Yeah, so
yeah,
it's hard to lose in front of him. But Trae Young's just been incredible. Julius Randle is not, and that kind of really come down to that. There's only so much that Derrick Rose can do. Because there's not enough scoring there, and the fact that pretty much anyone can pull up from 3 between Young, Herter, Hunter, and Bogdanovich, Gallinari. And then just got Capello at the middle, and even just saying that they're so much tougher than them. They're just embracing the villain role, and I kind of like it in the series.
Yeah, that's I like that too, because I mean, again, I don't know where the hate for Trae initiated with New York's fans, because it just seemed like he was playing well and they didn't really like it. But yeah, also just kind of going back on that too, because the Knicks seem like and again, they are ahead of schedule for sure. I don't think anyone thought they'd make the playoffs there. Never mind be the 4 seed, with kind of the roster that they have. They have a lot of guys that I feel like aren't the best 3-point shooters in the world. So it's like if they can get hot, they're a good team. But if not, that's when they really struggle. They have the young core. I think there were a lot of question marks for RJ Barrett coming out of college, and he seems to turn into a pretty nice player. I know he struggled at points in this series, but that seems to be at least a piece to build around. You again have Julius Randle, who's still only 26 years old now. Again, if you keep Derrick Rose, I don't know. Again, long term, I don't know, but again, I think you are ahead of schedule here. So even if you drop this series, I think they should, in their minds, I think you got to at least win at MSG. Tomorrow, I think it's tomorrow night, right? Yeah, tomorrow night.
Maybe tomorrow.
Yeah. So like if you can win that game at least, I mean, ideally you want to get back into this series, but I think that's a stepping stone in the right direction if you could at least win game 5 there. So I think that's gonna be a huge game for them. And again, I wanted this to go 7, and we obviously still can, but I was hoping this was gonna be 2-2 after 4 games. So
It's really
uh,
yeah. I was undecided who I want to win. I think I'm like kind of leaning Hawks in all honesty, but I was really rooting for the Knicks on Sunday.
Yeah.
Make it more interesting.
Yeah, the only spin zone, because again, I think it's fun when the Knicks are good, but the only spin zone against them winning is that like it's I also don't want Dolan to benefit from this because I just want him gone. But it's fun when the Knicks are relevant, and it'd be fun if they could go a little bit further. But
And to be honest with the way I'm probably going to pivot us right into the next topic, like the Sixers are vulnerable.
yeah,
I don't think
honestly that's
pull off a Red Sox comeback, but
no, that's probably not going to happen. But if you get like a hot Hawks team there, especially if they can wrap this up in 5 or maybe even 6. Yeah, especially with the injury to Embiid, and we can kind of get to that. So the Wizards did avoid the sweep down there, and which makes you think we might already have. Yeah, and I don't want to count Philly out because if Embiid comes back healthy, it's a different story. But we might the true conference finals might be the Bucks Nets. Like that could be a series that truly determines the winner of the East there. But yeah, going back to what you said, so the Wizards were able to avoid the sweep. I noted a very weird stat line from Russ. Well, I had it was 3 of 19 from the field. That's all I know. I think he had 19 points.
No, I think he had
21.
Like,
what's that?
I think he had like 16, 19, 14 or something like that.
It was something. Yeah, great podcasting here. He had 21 and 14 as his not points ones, but I have to remember to see. Oh my God. Yeah, I just remember he was 3 of 19 from the field. I know he got to the line a good amount though. Bradley Beal was a little bit better. 9 out of 23. He had 27 points there. So Russ's stat line I was right, 19, 21, and 14. So 19 points, 21 rebounds, 14 assists on 3 of 19 shooting. So again, not the most efficient, but it got the job done. And then so Embiid left with an injury, and what's the official word on what it is? Is it his? What are they saying? It's his knee or the opposite? Knee soreness.
Knee soreness.
Big Cat seems to get the back, I think.
And
so
yeah. So
right. Oh, it's down. I thought it was even but so down for game 5. So again, I still think it's one of the situations where I probably wouldn't bring him back this series. I think our guy Green even said it too. Unless this is a disaster, ends up being a game 7. Like I think I just trust everyone else to ride it out. But another point in this game, and this is weird because I feel like I've maybe watched a total of 5 minutes of this series between like weird times they're starting, like matinees when I'm doing stuff on the weekend, or they're on the same time as the Celtics or the Bruins. I just feel like I haven't caught like any of live action of this series, just because again I figured it was going to go one way, but also a bad free throw shooting night from Ben Simmons last night, huh?
Well, yeah, that was the thing. I definitely leaked a little bit over last night with the Bruins being on. This was the NBA going on, so I watched a lot during like the intermission.
Yeah.
I watched a lot of the fourth quarter, and then because it was such a good game, the Bruins were down by 2. It kind of spilled into it, but yeah, they just were doing Hack of Simmons because going into like right when they started doing Hack of Simmons, he was 1 for 13 in the series from the free throw line. I think he started going. Yeah, then by the end he was hitting like 1 of 2, but the fact that like how bad the Wizards are at defense and how good they are at offense, they're fine giving up 1 point in possession.
Yeah, which I think Doc Rivers got into some analytics after the game about how that's actually good. I mean, I don't know. I guess if you look up points per possession, like a 1 on average probably is solid, but it's just like I don't know. Like if you're thinking about it that way, like you're getting no more or anything after that. So yeah, I mean, it seemed to be a good strategy, especially if they're able to get back into the game there and they avoid the sweep. So we're only going to have 1 sweep, which I think is progress for the NBA. I could be mistaken. We're getting it to the West in a second here, but only 1 sweep, and it's weirdly again the defending Eastern Conference champions. So no one else gets swept. But yeah, I mean, like you said, there are weaknesses here. Well, it really is going to come down to Embiid, right? Like if he can stay healthy, then they should have no problem against most likely Atlanta, maybe the Knicks. But I don't know if you want to compete with Brooklyn, but You're raising the eyebrow. You think even with that healthy Embiid, they might lose that series to the Hawks?
I don't think it's gonna be healthy. Put it that way.
No, that's how I was prefacing. I said if you had a healthy Embiid.
I mean, I just think
But
with Capella in the middle, like that's someone that could guard him.
yeah,
Like it's better than
that's
like
true.
it's a
That's
self
true.
like who's guarding him now. Like I know Gafford's been great for the Wizards, but that's more on the offensive end.
Mhm.
Davis Bartons, yeah, you have like a Tony Snell line, but fouled out
Right.
in game 3. So like, I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if it ends up being like a Celtics Atlanta back in 08 where the home team wins every game type of deal.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Also, I just saw some weird. Not that I have a Celtics game. I just saw some weird trailer for this thing called Sweet Tooth on Netflix. All these like deer children. Very strange. Check it out if you have time later. But yeah, I think that pretty much wraps up the East. Like I said, not too exciting there as far as these. We could end up having a 4-game series and 3 fives if the leading team wins all game 5s. So that could be pretty chalk as far as the East goes. Well, not really chalk because Atlanta's the 5 seed, but I mean pretty boring. But hopefully at least that one gets a little interesting. I'm hoping the next win at least game 5. But it seems like we're gonna have the top 3 as usual, or kind of like we expected there if Philly can get their act together and Brooklyn holds out tonight. But conversely, on the other side, the Western Conference much more competitive. We have the Jazz that went up 3-1 to the Grizzlies last night. Again, it's over. Again, Ja had his great performance and obviously lost that game. They snuck game 1, but that was really, I think I mentioned on the last show, almost like the Toronto Orlando series, one of those things where it's like, oh, they just snuck into one game 1, and then that's really it. So again, Grizzlies are again another team that's had a schedule. They probably shouldn't have even been here. It should have been the Warriors. So the Jazz are, probably gonna win that one at 5. But then you look at every other series, we have 2-2 matchups across the board, which is again something I think that's great for the NBA because again it's something that I think they've really struggled with round 1 being almost a formality. And I don't know, we have some competitive series here. I know. I guess we could start with I just kind of went in a random order here, honestly. So yeah, Jazz obviously up 3-1 of the Grizz, but then Clippers are back. What did you say?
I was gonna
I
say
said Clippers.
Oh, we can start with them. Yeah.
No. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say let's start in Denver because that games are going on.
That game's happening. No, you're right. You're right. We'll get to that in a sec. So so Denver, I don't know. I was watching them on when was game 3? I'm getting all my days confused. I'm so sorry. Is it Thursday or Friday? That was Thursday. That was Thursday.
Yeah.
So yeah, that makes sense. So I don't know. And I'm like the stupid Blazers, like they're gonna get like run out of this series. And I like the Blazers. I'm a huge Dame fan, so I want them to do well. And again, I like the Nuggets too, but I'm just like maybe this isn't their year with Jamal being out. Well, let's see it next year. But anyway, they were gonna run away, but then the Blazers had a really good, strong performance in Game 4, winning that one by 20 points. Playoff Norm coming out, scoring 29 points in that game. I know it was a big pickup from Toronto this year to tie the series up, and we can kind of get into how tonight's going. But first off, I think it was a really good answer for the Blazers to win that game.
Oh yeah, that was back against the wall. It's gonna be tough to go back to Denver and have to win 2 there.
Yeah, exactly.
So I thought they would. Mad because they're like 5.5 point favorites. So I was like, that's too much. 20 looks sick. But I got a really good feeling. I thought it would be closer like a pick 'em, like a 1 possession spread. But anyways, yeah, they just knocked the doors off them like right away. Like I was excited to watch that game in the afternoon. I forget which day it was, and then
Saturday.
Yeah, and then it was kind of over right away.
Yeah, absolutely. And then it just, this whole thing just seems like a rock fight because we're not even getting that good of game. It's like I feel like we got one of these recently in some
game
sport.
3 was pretty good, right? It was only a 5-point game.
I guess you're right. Yeah,
and I know it came down to Jokic, like Denver missed a free throw, and they had a 3-point game. And Portland had a timeout with like 2 seconds left to advance it, but Jokic got the offensive rebound, put it back in, and then that was it. So
yeah, that's kind of the one outlier here because again we had a 14-point win for the Blazers in game 1, 19-point win for the Nuggets in game 2, the 5-point game like you mentioned, and then a 20-point win for the Blazers. And then now if we look tonight, out of the gate, Denver's up 22 points. It's 54-32 with just under 8 minutes to go in the second quarter. They got into a hot start. They have the score in the top corner of the Celtics game.
It sounds like 13-1.
Yeah, it's like they just started out terrible, and it looks like that this one's already pretty much wrapped up. As speaking of which, Kyrie just hit a huge three to put the Nets up 14. So again, kind of getting what we expected here, but I kind of like the 9 o'clock game too. I'm going to be honest, because between the podcasts, I'll probably be able to see the end of that game. I know it'd be tough to make the Laker game here, but yeah, again, I think this is a situation where the Nuggets could easily hold on tonight, and then we could see the Blazers punch them right back in the mouth in Game 6, and then I think we might be headed that way.
I think 6, and if there's a 7, both those games are really good.
Yeah, I don't know. I could just, again, if tonight stays this way, if there's no sort of comeback from the Blazers, I could almost see them winning, maybe not by 20 again, but winning pretty convincingly. And then 7's where I think we would get absolute madness. But yeah, either way, it's been a series that's probably, again, the most likely to go 7. Just how evenly matched the teams are. It just shows you how the Denver's again probably much better team with the health of Jamal Murray. But as they're currently constructed, pretty even teams here. So that's where that one. We'll kind of wrap up with both LA teams here. So as I was saying before, the Clippers are back, at least for now anyway. And this is a weird series where the road team has won all 4 games, which is very interesting, especially in the NBA. But what did you say?
Probably gonna play basketball on Sunday night.
The Mavs
Put up 81.
or just. Yeah, I'm sorry, I got kind of lost on Sunday night with the festivities there, but yeah, again, it seems to be. And how was Luka in that game? Was he as insane as ever? Or
19 points, something like that.
Okay, so not good for Luka standards.
For
anyway,
how much she has volume.
Yeah, but yeah, again, because I know Friday night they were down a little bit, and I was like, oh my god, are the Clippers just about to get swept out of the first round here? But they were obviously able to kind of put it together and win game 3 there. And I know they're starting to get some production out of their top 2 guys. And again, because that would have been an absolute like utter disaster. We're talking like break the team up type deal. And it's funny though, because they talked about the last, or like the teams in history that lost the first 2 games of a series on the road, or at home rather, and were able to win the series. And like, you were the last team to do that?
The Boston Celtics in the first round against the Chicago Bulls.
Correct. Yeah, they like brought it up the other day. Like, I think they said it before they put the graphic up. Like, oh, like the 2017 Celtics. So yeah, we can be on our way to that type of series. It just seems like the Clippers were asleep and they woke up essentially. Again, we could still get Mavericks to turn around to win 2, or it could go 7. But I think the Clips I think they figured it out. I think they're going to win at 6 here.
Yeah. Do like how they're getting back into the. They're finally doing 4 games a night now. I think they just want this round to end on Sunday, which is good.
Well, I think they also are starting to realize, well, all 4 games might not happen in any given series. You know what I mean? So I think they're like, well, we'll say 4, but then 2 or 3 will happen.
Definitely 4 tomorrow.
Or all 4 guaranteed tomorrow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, Kawhi had 36 in game 3, and that was huge. And then kind of even just quickly looking through the box score on Sunday, yeah, 81 points. Jeez. Yeah, Kawhi had 29. So he's getting back into the playoff Kawhi form, which I think is good if you're a Clippers fan. And I don't know, the road's there for them, man. Like, I mean, they played this stupid, I think, dangerous tanking strategy to get Luka again, but I don't know. Now you can run into the Jazz, who again we've made our fair share of jokes about, but you avoid either the Lakers, who we'll get to, or the team that takes down the Lakers in the Phoenix Suns in round 2 there. So, yeah, I don't know if you had much more to add about the Clippers. I just think it's just that they're back.
Yeah, I think more just the Mavericks. Like, they got off to a hot start. I think they're up like 20-8, and then they just have stopped playing basketball. And I think Luka is also very bad at free throws too. So.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he hits these dagger threes, but he also isn't, like, percentage-wise, he's not a great 3-point shooter either. He just hits the ones that matter.
Yeah. So.
I think, again, a team that still has some work to do. But again, we'll see. It's 2-2. It's weird to say that about a series that's 2-2. That it seems like a formality, but yeah, we'll see if they have some answers back in them against the Clips. But again, if they win, I think they're a team. The Clips should be able to beat the Jazz, but who knows? We saw them collapse last year. But and then yeah, finally the last series, the one that it's definitely very intriguing, as the Suns were able to even it up with a balanced offensive attack. I don't think anyone even broke 20 the other night in a 192 victory against the Lakers on the 3:30 matinee on Sunday. I was able to catch some of that as well. But yeah, I don't know. They're hanging in there. A lot of people counted them out. I know we had the Anthony Davis injury. I think it's a game time decision tonight. I don't know if there's been more of an update there, but it's really contributed. But hey, credit to them. They showed up. They took this game, and now it's tied going back to Phoenix.
Yeah. Like I said, it's very balanced. Like Booker had like 14, 15 at halftime. I thought it was going to be, oh, this is his game. And then it was a very, very slow third quarter. You see, like there wasn't that much scoring going along. There was a lot of like Jay Crowder threes and like some like good free throw shooting for them. And then fourth quarter, Chris Paul kind of just like felt like he hauled Chris Paul, just hit some big shots for them. And with the biggest elephant in the room, Anthony Davis going out with injury, their offense just is not the same without him.
When the hosts aren't listening, Mike, I said that.
Oh.
I said when the hosts aren't listening, I said, Mike, I said that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's all right. Yeah. So like I said, AD did get injured in that game, and he's a game time decision tonight. I think you might have been looking at your phone. I thought you were looking up his status for tonight. But the last time I saw it was an updated.
A coworker next to me about the Celtics officially being dead.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I saw him. I think it was the TNT halftime. They were showing he was doing like the stretching, or he was doing like the stepping with like the bands on. Trying to test it out. But so we'll see if he ends up playing tonight. If not, I think there's a good chance we get a vintage Braun game tonight. If Davis is out, we could see like a 45 point. I got game 6 of 2012 in my head, but I don't know.
I'm prepared for it, but I'm pulling so hard for these Suns, man. There's a fun team.
I know.
Very good too. He gets very much under the radar.
Who was that? I'm sorry.
DeAndre Ayton.
Ayton's been a beast this series.
I'm saying for number one.
Yeah.
I think it's thrown under the radar, especially like being the Luka year and stuff like that. But he hasn't like
right. And especially with them not being good, and when they did get good, it's like, all right, it's time to give Devin Booker his credit. Being drafted 4 years ahead of him. So yeah, I agree. He weirdly does fly under the radar for number 1 overall pick. And he's been awesome on the boards this series. And I agree. I'm trying really hard to not let myself get hurt, because I do love this Suns team too, and I obviously want the Lakers out, even though I hope it doesn't come down to the Nets, because I would root for the Lakers in that situation. But yeah, I don't know. They're a lot of fun. I'm not going to really get in on this team until I see them with the 4 next to their name for the series. Did someone just have a Fournier? I don't know. He seemed like he walked off the bench. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, no, the Suns are awesome. I would love it if they could win this series here. But still very prepared for the Lakers to make a statement game either tonight or whatever it might be. I just still think that, they're always, LeBron's always going to scare me.
Yeah. Well, heck, if that goes 7 and Nuggets Blazers go 7, that's Saturday. Like I said, I know they mentioned the Nets Bucks game 1.
Double dip Saturday. Oh,
could be like and then Nets Bucks game 1. That could be like a matinee.
Yeah, like I said, I'm going to be at a 6-year-old birthday party. But luckily, that's I think early in the afternoon, so we'll have to make a move in some capacity to watch these games here. But yeah, so yeah, that'd be great.
That's NBA playoff basketball.
That is. Again, we have a lot to recap. Again, we'll try to get a weekend edition in this weekend here to get not to do a week's worth of stuff here, because between that and the NHL, we have a lot to catch up on, especially the NHL, because I feel like, we had the Bucks win their series, but no other thing got started. We kind of left things in the crossroads, I think, last week as far as NHL goes. So we can kind of hop right in there. But we'll start kind of as we should do with the local team first, and really their opponent. So I think we left last week, and I think the Isles were up 3-2 on the Pens, and they were able to close that out in 6 to set up their matchup with the Bruins. And that series started on Saturday night. And again, I was at an Indian wedding, so again, a couple nice ceremony there. Luckily, the one on Saturday night coincidentally ended at 8:00, so I was able to get back to the hotel bar and watch this game. And again, obviously exciting once you get to round 2 here. And the Bruins came out really strong in this game. Pasta with the hat trick to win the game. I think it was 5-2 the final of that one.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. To really set the tone there. Game 1
that was
win.
like a good hat trick where he didn't like put it an empty netter because it was an empty netter when it was 4-2, but it was
Natural hat trick, right? As they call it.
I think that's when he scored the first like three in a row or the first three
Is
goals.
that what it is? Oh,
Yeah.
I thought one was not an empty netter. But anyway, good.
But
Yeah, but
the overall great effort by them. And then last night, man, what was that second period?
yeah. Last night was tough, and I think something we have to bring up first. And Mike, I just between the radio today and just getting caught up on everything. What is going on with the Islanders goalie situation? Because they start, was it Sorokin in game one?
Yeah.
But everything I'm hearing is that Varlamov got like robbed of like the Vezina finalist. Like he was that good. So why did he get taken out in the first? Like if this guy's pretty much the fourth best goalie in the league, if he got robbed from the Vezina, why is he not?
He got hurt, couldn't play game one against Pittsburgh.
And they just rode the hot hand?
Then they won game one with Sorokin. But they went back to Varlamov when he was healthy in game two. Lost the next two games with Varlamov in net. Went back to Sorokin. They won the next three games. So in the series, Sorokin was 4-0 and Varlamov was 0-2.
Okay, so all right, Trotz is just switching it each game because now in this series, Sorokin's 0-1 and Varlamov's 1-0. Yeah, it's almost like the situation where they talk about like a team with two bad quarterbacks. It's like, well, we'll start one and then like switch to the other, and then you'll win the game or something like that. But yeah, so that's what happened last night. Again, they switched back from Sorokin to Varlamov for game two here. And the Bruins, actually, we were back again. Been a hectic weekend between that and the house, so we were kind of getting back. We did some grocery shopping, and I got in the house at I think 7:45, and I missed the goal. I didn't see the goal. The Bruins scored early in that one, and then Islanders scored another one to make it 1-1. And then really just that second period seemed like the Bruins were just blocking the whole time, and they couldn't really get it out of their defensive zone. And the Islanders put two on the board in the second period.
Well, all three were in the second period.
Oh, was it? Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize for that.
It was really weird. It was the first one was a deflection off a stick, like a defender's stick.
Right.
And even I think the second one was a little funky. But
the second one seemed like the worst as far as Tuukka goes that he gave up.
I thought the first two were deflections. I know the first one definitely was.
Yeah. Or maybe I think of the second in the second period. So sorry. Again, I'm getting.
And we kind of flipped the switch a little bit. We had a big it was very, very physical. We got to a 4-on-4. We dominated the 4-on-4, couldn't get a puck in the net. And then all of a sudden, we're like, okay, we finally first 10 minutes, finally gonna righten the ship a little bit. And then a dumb penalty. And next thing you know, we were on our heels right again. We scored on the power play, and then we were very lucky to even get out of there, only being down 2.
Yeah, it did look like it was going to get it was going to come off the rails, maybe be again a 4 or 5-1 game. But and before we get to the third period here, I just want to give a couple updates. The Nets are 100% going to win this game. They've now gone up 22 points, 120-98, and Tatum's just doing everything he can, man. He's just diving across the lane, hitting 3-pointers. And then on the other score, Mike, at one point I think I said it was 54-32. Just quick math here. 19-5 run for the Blazers. Now just an 8-point game as there's 2:47 left in the first half. So quick sidebar live update for basketball going on here. And yeah, just Tatum's really doing it. It really is reminiscent of that Jordan series against the Celtics in the late 80s. Just to kind of it's well, the team wasn't ready yet, but he's there. He's there. So but anyway, to get back to the Bruins here. Yeah, so they just again awful second period. Really weren't able to kind of get it. They just looked awful, and I'm like, oh, this is just gonna be ugly. And then the third period comes around, like you mentioned, kind of that momentum shift that they started to see, and it really came to fruition in the third period. Goal off the point for Bergeron, which is just an absolute snipe up there, and then Marchand able to find them that they're two to tie it up at 3. And I was obviously exhausted, so I'm like, oh, of course this game goes to overtime. But I was happy to have it if it brought them back in the game. But yeah, again, really great to get 2 from the perfection line there in the third. But then also Tuukka played a really good third period there as well.
I hate that nickname.
The perfection line. I'm sorry. I'm going off of what I hear. Why? Okay, let's get into that. Why do you hate it? Do you get too much pressure or what?
I think it's corny and something very easily make fun of.
Yeah. If it goes bad, yeah, you're kind of leaving yourself vulnerable there. I thought, oh my god, someone came up with a much better nickname. I'm gonna have to find it. Something going off of pasta and probably some sort of like Italian line or something like that. But anyway, um, yeah. So, but again, great contribution for them. And like I was saying, like I think like yeah, again, a real good third period from Tuca to keep them in the game there as well.
Yeah, and that overtime, the first like 10 minutes was just like nonstop, no stoppages.
I couldn't. Yeah, I'm like I was like yeah. Sorry, good.
I couldn't believe it, and then just a piss poor pass by Lozon. Like you can't be doing that D to D soft pass right there.
Yeah, you're okay. First of all, I have to address that because sidebar, someone who's again much more of a basketball head during the regular season and kind of gets more into it in the playoffs. The Lazar Lozon thing is just like messing with my head. I'm like, are these two different people? Like it's been very very confusing with their names. But
grinder.
Yeah, he's a yeah, exactly.
Oh,
yeah, I figured that out eventually, but I'm just like, it's so weird that we have two guys with that similar of a name when it's not exactly the most common name. But yeah, kind of getting back to what actually happened there. Yeah, it just seemed like it was like nonstop action for so long. It's again, obviously me, in 2021, I'm someone who's kind of on their phone a lot. I'm like, I should keep it down. I'm like, stop, you're gonna miss something if you keep if you don't keep your eyes glued to the screen really for 10 minutes. And it was tough because again, I was just so exhausted from the weekend. I was starting to fall asleep, but obviously I was awake at the same time. It was very, very weird emotion there. But yeah, just again, like I said, a lazy pass that went the other way. And at that point, one on the goalie deep into overtime and they're able to get it by him. And Islanders tied this series up heading back to Long Island. So this seems like a series. And again, we kind of saw with Pittsburgh too. It's like they might, the other team might be better, but they grind it out, man. And I think we could really be heading for a 6 or 7 game series here, one way or another.
Yeah, and hopefully we can get Craig Smith back because he went down game 1.
Yeah,
definitely kind of could see the impact of the second line. Didn't really seem too on all cylinders because Krejci and Hall was without him, and he seems to be a kind of steady, like not the biggest name, but kind of like steadies off that second line. You got it. I think they bumped up. Again, the pitch. I forget who they bumped up, but I know Kuhlman slid into the third line. I think maybe Richie went up to the second one, but that kind of
yeah. I'm hearing a lot of people want to move Kuhlman up to the second line. I think to play with Krejci.
Yeah, I think if Craig Smith's going to be out, I'd rather just like sometimes it's easier just to insert a random.
I know, but I think if it's like if you don't think something's working anyway, like that's the reason why I'd say that. But yeah, I mean, just a couple things there. I did want to note that was one thing, and then also another thing that was kind of brought up today that I kind of agreed with because I was again, I'm not the most fundamentally sound hockey there is, but it just seemed that there are parts where Mike Riley, he's like crashing the net and he has a shot. He made an extra pass. Like I noticed that at least a couple times last night where he made an extra pass.
No, the thing, he wasn't doing extra pass. He would just like get in deep and just circle the net doing nothing.
No, I saw him pass it back once and I was like, that could be a good pass. But like, I'm also just like, but you were also a lot closer. So like I saw that too, where he would, either make an extra pass or like you said, kind of try to do a wraparound for some reason, make things too complicated there. But either way, Bruins was a tough one. They're heading to New York, heading to Long Island now. I'd say, I think we're gonna have a long series here. Game 3, I'll see. They're going to the rare 2 nights off in the NHL playoffs.
Only one series though.
Yeah, they'll hit the ice again Thursday night. Again down at the Nassau Coliseum, so again should have a good series there. Hopping around a bit. Again, I might adjust the order of this because again I got very confused by I think we talked about it before, but I still got confused. So with situations, let's say not to tease too much, with certain situations playing out, it's been decided that the winner of the East is going to play the winner of the Central. So when we start, we'll move over to the Central first. So to kind of neither series,
at least going off what Pete Blackburn says, I think I trust him.
Yeah, no, I did too. Because again, I've seen brackets out there where it looks like East, West, and then North and Central. But I think we've talked about it a few times, like the highest and lowest point getters, which are going to come out of the West and Northern division. So again, whatever. We'll do that if we have to fix it later down the line. Sure, we'll go ahead and do that. But anyway, Canes finish off the Preds and Tampa Bay wins the Battle of Florida. Again, both of those kind of wrapped up after we recorded last week. So that set up the Tampa Bay Carolina matchup here. And Tampa wins game 1 here in round 2. I think they're playing tonight as well.
We're up
But
2-0.
Vasilevsky, what's that?
We're up 2-0.
They're winning 2-0 tonight?
Mhm.
Okay. So winning 2-0 tonight, trying to go 2-0 in the series. As Vasilevsky had 37 saves in game 1 to really help them out there. So again, really early in that series, not much to really hit on there. But again, up 2-0, and they look like they're making a run to run this thing back.
Yeah, this is dangerous that they just once they got the monkey off their back, who knows? Like I've always thought it's like this is the hardest sport to repeat, but I guess if you don't play one of your best goal scorers all year and just insert them in for the playoffs, it kind of saves you a little bit. So I thought they'd be more tired, but they just look like a wagon from last year. Just like especially how good the division was between Florida and Carolina. They were both like in the high 70s, 80 point threshold. Tampa was technically the 3 seed. So
yeah, that's true. Yeah. I mean, it was
they're looking extremely dangerous.
Again, they're doing this in Carolina. Or I'm sorry, no, are they at home? Or
in Carolina.
It is in Carolina. Okay, yeah. So obviously, like again, yes, if they go 2-0 going home, that's obviously a huge advantage for them.
They officially won 2-1.
Oh, that one's over?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they win the game 2-1, they're up the series 2-0. Another thing that's gone final, the 2021 Boston Celtics season is officially over. Harden hit a triple double to end this thing in 5. We had the 50 burger. That's all I can really say. And this season has mercifully come to an end. And we'll try to build next year. But anyway, we're on hockey right now. We'll stick to that. Yeah, so we're going to tip up 2-0 in that series.
Let's stick with the other wagon of a team.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We'll hop back over. So we'll go out west. The other wagon again. They could be on a collision course. We'll have to see. I know a lot of weird things can happen in hockey, especially the Bruins and Islanders beat the crap out of each other, and the North isn't quite as up to par with these other teams. We could be on our way towards a Tampa Bay Colorado matchup because, man, after what's that?
2 Southern teams.
Yeah. Well, first, before we get to the Avs, I want to say how we got to the matchup in round 1. I think I was saying this point last week, Mike. I'm like, God, I thought Minnesota Knights was going to be a much closer series and looked like the Knights going to wrap it up. Minnesota made it a series. They won games 5 and 6 to force that game 7. But at the end of the day, the Knights did hold on to win in Vegas to win that series. So again, credit to the Wild. I thought they were going to kind of fall apart there and just lose in 5, but they made it a series. But
wild game 5.
No pun intended.
That was actually not on purpose, but
sure.
Believe they only had 13 shots on net and they won 4-2.
Yeah,
I think they got outshot like 40-13. They won 40.
Oh, we might have talked about that last time. Then I don't know. I think I just
so they just defend their home ice, and then Vegas did the same with a very impressive 6-2 win. Blanking on his name, but some guy out of nowhere had a hat trick for Vegas. So
yeah,
shout out him. I think it was a very European name. I wouldn't know how to pronounce. So
yeah, so that was Friday night, and then so that left us for game 1 Sunday for Colorado and Vegas, and the Avs came out just 7-1. That's all I can really say. A 7-1 game in the playoffs, which you don't see too often. I always think of that 8-1 game the Bruins had over the Canucks in 2011, but yeah, you don't see scores that high and low. Kind of a 6-goal deficit there, but they're looking again just one game, but looking like the superior team so far in this series, if not just in the series, if not the league.
Very, very much an avalanche of goals in that game, huh?
Okay, that one was definitely on purpose, so let's not even try to hide that. But yes, I'd say so with 7 going on the board.
And then finally, during all this,
there
was a game 7 last night.
There was another game 7 up north. Again, the one that's kind of behind all these other series. Again, multiple reasons we had to end with this one. They did it again. This Toronto team did it again. They just was it 2004? Their last series win. They're up 3-1 in the series against a probably far inferior, at least points-wise, Montreal team. And yeah, they had nothing last night. They
absolutely
no. It was what was it? Was the final 3-0? And that was 2-0, and then the empty net. Did they score another one?
No, Maple Leafs like scored a goal with like 30 seconds left.
Oh, okay. Because I saw it was, I threw it on, but then I saw it was 2-0, and then I saw the empty netter, and I was like, well, that thing's over.
You just threw it with like 2.5 minutes left and just went in.
Yeah.
Like
Jeez. So they're slowly becoming one of the most choking franchises of all time. I know part of my take guys talked about that tweet they had about that poor guy that's a Bengals Leafs fan.
I think I saw someone today was a Leafs Falcons fan.
I don't know if it's worse to like. I mean, at least the Falcons made it the Super Bowl. I know they have one of the most epic collapses ever, but it's like they've won playoff games, unlike the Bengals and Leafs, who have gone 0 for their last 15 in games / series for both of those sports. But either way, just another epic collapse from this franchise.
Well, even from the time I was up in Montreal, I was like talking to someone because like we were in like a pool and like we snuck in a couple of beers and we're like, I don't mind. He's like, just put in a cup, who cares? It's like we were like, he was being nice.
Yeah.
Us. Yeah, so where we're from, he said Boston. And it's like, sorry if you hate us. And he's like, actually, like up here, we don't really like hate the Bruins as much as you'd think. We're way more bigger rivals with Toronto. So the fact that
really, so that's kind of one side. I feel kind of bad about that now. It makes me feel like our rivalry is not quite as legit. It seems one-sided now.
Well, no, I think it's like more like a 1A 1B type thing. But
yeah.
But the fact that it's like okay, because even like I think it's kind of like a 3-way rivalry too, because like of course like Toronto and Boston aren't that big. So the fact that you finally was like, oh, at least we don't have to run to Boston this year.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, you ran into the other rival. Yeah.
Yeah. Because like that was like 2013. And I think it was
especially once they realigned the divisions too, that became more of a like almost a definite because well in the old format Tampa kept winning and then us and Toronto kept coming in second and third, so we kept facing each other in the first round.
I think it was 2018. I think they were up like 4-3 going into the third period and they lost 7-4. And then 19.
We all know 2013.
Yeah, and then 2019 they went up 3-2. They won Game 5 in Boston, and then I remember Easter Sunday, big win in Toronto, and then we ended up killing 7. So
yeah. But yeah, another epic collapse from this franchise. It's got to be so painstaking for those fans. There's no outdoor party this year, but still hurts.
One silver lining.
So that sets up the finals for the Canadian finals, if you will, with the Jets and Canadiens going at it. Starts tomorrow, game 1. So again, the Jets will be hosting that one, but we'll see how that one goes out. But yeah, just really the storyline is the Toronto Blue again. So, oh man. And all right, so I think that kind of wraps up the NHL. Again, we had another game go final tonight, like we were saying. So, current status is Bruins Islanders tied 1-1. Tampa up 2-0 on the Canes. We have Colorado with that 1-0 series lead against Vegas, and then the Jets and Habs starting tomorrow night. So we've got a lot to unpack for the playoffs, but why don't we check in on baseball here, Mike? Again, I know kind of a lot of games got washed out this weekend. The whole Eastern Coast seemed like it was nonstop rain for 2 or 3 days here. So I know the Rays are staying hot and staying atop the East. And actually, before we get into that, Mike, I do want to just give a quick update here, which is funny because I'm going to release this tomorrow and everyone's going to know. But Anthony Davis is not playing tonight. He's in street clothes. So the Lakers will be trying to win Game 5 without him, and Suns obviously trying to do the same and take advantage of him being out. But anyway, hopping back into baseball.
Can I kick it over to me?
I just I'm stuck with the Rays. I think at least.
Yeah, that's kind of like the big story in baseball. I think they won 15 of 16. They're up to, I believe it's 35 and 20. Let me see.
I think the Red Sox are 32 and 21. I don't know if
they're 35 and 20 there. An extra innings game right now with the Yankees, who have been struggling to say the least. They've lost 4 in a row, especially a 3-game sweep in Detroit.
Oh,
yeah,
that's never good.
That was a really tough weekend for them down there. So, and now they got to play Tampa. So,
but you mentioned it again,
they can really use a win in the Bronx tonight. So, that's a matchup to watch. And then right in the smack dab in the middle Now the Red Sox coming first at least all year, but now they're down 2 games. They're down 2-1 right now after getting blown out in Houston yesterday. Then
Yeah, what's up with Eddie?
just a terrible month of May. I think he was like a 6.5 ERA.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's obviously not great. I mean, the Reds again, they're still not playing bad. They've won 7 of their last 10. It's just they can't keep
No,
up with
yeah, I
the
mean
Rays.
they took care of the Marlins being in town, even in some rain shortage games, and split with the Braves, and I forget who they played after that. But this is going to be a really tough stretch coming up in June.
Yeah.
So they have, like I said, 4 in Houston, then go to the Bronx, come back. Houston. Well, their one day off is a makeup from Sunday with Miami,
Okay.
and then Houston's back here, 4 with the
All
Jays,
right.
back to the Braves. Then you got to go to KC, which isn't that tough, and then it's Tampa, New York.
Yeah. So
So
yeah.
you've kind of a little bit easy schedule to start year. So
hopefully no June swoon this year. We'll have to see.
Just a lot of games.
Like you said,
Tampa, Houston, and New York, kind of like the cream of the crop of the AL, which I think we're good enough to be a part of. We just got to prove it. Just because the AL's on.
Yeah, you're right. Like you said, they've got to take advantage of playing bad teams. Oh my god, we're already getting the start of the vintage Braun game here. But anyway, I think like you said, you have to put the chips on the table now against some of the better teams in the league here. So right, that's going to kind of decide how they where they are all-star game and post the break there. So we'll obviously see how they do there. And then just a real tight AL East. I know it's kind of again opening up a little bit with Tampa playing so well, and like you said, the Yankees really cooling off, and then the Jays kind of playing 500 ball since then. But how about the Orioles? This is 14 in a row.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I thought I saw it today. Then I just scrolled over to double check it. Yeah, 14 in a row.
Oh, they're up 7-4 right now in the 9th inning.
Okay, pop the champagne.
Yeah, I had a pretty funny moment. They're playing Minnesota. A pretty funny moment yesterday when I think Ryan Mountcastle went home run the deep center, and the center fielder for the Twins, Rob Reef Schneider, he had no idea what the ball was.
Really?
He was running straight back, looking at the ball, and then.
Oh, is that when he ran into the wall?
Yeah.
That clip. Okay, I saw someone do that. I wasn't sure if it was him. That's actually really funny.
So.
Oh man.
Yeah, then kind of moving along. Like I said, White Sox 2.5 game lead playing Cleveland right now. Really had a good chance to pull away, but they've lost again tonight. I mean, they had to play Bieber, which isn't the best, but Dylan Cease was starting for them. He's pitching really good for them. They split their doubleheader yesterday, so they're up 2-1 in this series with a day game tomorrow to wrap it up. So Indians can make it close here, but the White Sox, I still think they'll probably end up pulling away. And sticking in the AL, just kind of a long day at the top between Houston. Seattle's kicking around, but
I saw that they won 5 in a row. Yeah, so no one really jumping out in front there.
They're really, I guess they took advantage of playing Texas, who's been playing really bad baseball, lost 6 in a row because they 5 in a row. I think it was just a pretty big sweep.
Kyle Lewis is headed back to the DL though, or IL rather, which is obviously not great.
A lot more time for Kelenic then.
That's true.
Yep.
Also, just to say, Dust Summer Machine's been raking tonight. McCutcheon has 2 homers. Acuna's got 1. Gavin Lux is really starting to turn things around. I know kind of all over the map here, but we can talk about that with the Dodgers when we get there. But yeah, hopping to the NL though, I know you have to hear of the Hospital Mets they've won 5 in a row as well to kind of distance themselves a bit in the NL East.
Yeah, kind of taking advantage of some nice scheduling that part with the Rockies in town. They lost straight game 1 last week, but swept their doubleheader, got their kind of entire series outside of Saturday washed away with the Braves. And then the one game they did, they went off for 13 runs, which is pretty impressive with the state of their lineup. And then now they're in Arizona. It's even worse than the Rockies, believe it or not.
Oh wow! How about Pilar already coming back 2 weeks after getting like his face blown off?
Insane.
Yeah, it's awesome. Former Red Sox great, and I say that was he here for like a month?
Yeah.
So that's awesome to see him back, and Jacob deGrom, just absolutely insane person.
Yeah, he's gonna have like 4 runs this year or something like that.
And then he drove in some runs the other night too.
Yeah, he's in 474.
Yeah. That's right up there with the Dan. Was it Dan here in 2010?
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Shohei who?
Exactly. So yeah, they're looking great. Then the NL Central things are getting a little bit competitive there as well here, huh?
The Cubbies are
Minnesota.
nowhere.
Yeah.
They eight of their last two. I think they won the series with Cincinnati this weekend in town.
Brew Crew as well. They've won what is it, 5 in a row here?
Yeah.
Also waited their last 10.
Yeah, so and then the fact that the Cardinals have had some tough scheduling now that they're in LA.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like they've had a lot of West Coast road trips already between I feel like they were just in San Diego. But now they're in LA. Chris Taylor, big game last night, a home run and a bases clearing 14 pitch.
14 pitch, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So yeah, and hop over there. They needed that.
Well, Mike, just to kind of quickly sum up, just kind of what you're saying there. So we have again the Central 3 teams separated by a game and a half, and then as you talk about the NOS, we have 3 teams separated by 2 games there.
Yeah, because wanna know why? Because like I said, after last week, the Dodgers went to San Francisco and absolutely swept them. So I think they were up 10-1 and 10-0 in the third inning after last game, and it was like, oh boy, this might be the end of the Giants. Oh, the Giants in the next weekend went down the Chavez Ravine, swept them. So now they're back at first. So they just won't die.
Yeah,
they're now just doing dance moves on the mound too.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
big win for them. So kind of just a logjam at the top, but just love it goes from first place, half game out, 2 games, 14, 15 and a half.
Jeez. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, huge gap between the Dodgers and Rockies there in the 3-4 slots. But yeah, we should have some. Again, I hope a lot of this, just stays really true there with some of these divisions. That again, because it's 2.5 out of the AL West. I didn't even mention that. I mean, again, it's so early relative that a lot of these will be close. But I hope we have some good races down the stretch here. I think that'll be a lot of fun. But yeah, I mean, I think that pretty much sums it up for MLB and really the show here. I'm trying to think of any other. I mean, so many events have probably happened between our last episode and today, but I mean, football's still just a lot of rumors, nothing actually happening.
BC's women's slacks.
Oh my god, how could I forget? National champs. Yeah, let's hang the banner. It was funny though, because I was hanging with my buddy Calvin this weekend, and he went to Syracuse, so it was actually the matchup in the women's lacrosse championship. So yeah, we should. I mean, yeah, it was so last minute. But yeah, hang a banner.
Being the Buffalo Bills. That was their 4th straight championship game appearance, apparently.
Okay, that sounds familiar. Because again, we kind of did the same thing in hockey. I feel like we dominate all year and can't quite wrap it up in women's hockey. But
yeah, because
it seems like similar thing on the lax field.
Well, because that was on Sunday, or I got lunch on Saturday afternoon, and it was like before anything was starting. So they just had like random like ESPN on. So the bottom line, they're playing in the semifinal, and it was like seeking 4th straight championship appearance. There's parentheses, lost all 3. Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's
17, 18, 19. Of course, there's no season last year. So
right, one step above the Buffalo Bills. So, yeah. So shout out to the Lady Eagles there, wrapping it up for the Lax Championship. Again, we're good at a lot of these sports. We just can't quite hone in on the big 2 there. So
it's just serviceable at football.
Well, yeah, exactly. Well, for now,
the half the
the half hour has been good for sure. But yeah, and then I'm trying to think. I think more is. I mean, we might talking before this anyway. But is the Mayweather fight this weekend too? Is it weirdly on Sunday night, which is really annoying?
I think it's
one of the Pauls. I can't even remember which one.
I think Logan, because I think
that's Logan, because Jake's fighting some other guy. I don't know. Yeah. Ugh, those two. But yeah, then I think the Belmonts this weekend too.
Yeah, and I think because that fight's on Sunday, because there's like another whether it's like MMA or boxing.
Oh, okay. But still, why does it just wait another? Why would it not be on a Saturday?
I don't know.
That doesn't make any sense. But anyway, rant over. Yeah, we'll have a few other things to recap there. Again, I hope I'm not missing anything major here. But yeah, we're in the thick of it. We're into round 2 for hockey and deep into round 1 in the NBA. We already have again, Bucks Nets is now official for round 2. Again, that seems like that series is going to be starting on Saturday. So we could have an action-packed Saturday as far as we could have that game. We have the Belmont, and then we could have quite a few we got some hockey games as well. Some other basketball games like we were kind of mentioning here. So it could be a very action-packed Saturday, first Saturday in June here. So we'll obviously keep our eye on all that. And like I said, just enjoying the madness we have on as Mike shakes his head a little bit here.
Uh,
Yeah, you have something to add?
A little baseball note to end on, of course.
Okay.
Who hit a grand slam tonight?
Tatis Jr.
Andrew Benintendi.
Oh man.
Yeah, that was Frenchie got sent.
We have Franchi Cordero though. He got sent down, did he?
Yeah, last week. Okay, I guess that was another note to end on. So.
Well, who came back up?
I think Arroyo might be back off.
I saw Arroyo got activated, but I didn't know if that would.
That was the corresponding move.
Really, just the infielder for outfield. I mean, I guess what's his name could play anywhere.
Marvin can play anywhere. Santana.
And Kike.
Yeah.
Oh, how about Danny Santana?
Yeah, he had a hot start last week on 2 home runs in 2 games.
Yeah.
He's only like 180 now. So
yeah, that makes sense. But all right, yeah, I think that should wrap it up. Like I said, just a lot going on. We'll keep our eye on everything here, and hopefully have a lot to talk about next time we're on. So again, thanks everyone for waiting the week here and tuning in as always. And we'll be back with some more action in our next episode here.
See you guys.